tuition for undocumented students at USF.
And that measure passed the Student Senate.
Yes.
What would happen next? I guess this is just a recommendation maybe to the Board of Trustees?
Yes. The Board of Trustees is meeting on December 5th. SDS, I'm the president of SDS. We are going to be trying to pack the House to pressure the Board of Trustees to pass this.
What's the issue here? Why do these undocumented students who live in Florida, why do they not get in-state tuition already?
Basically, at USF, there is no protocol for undocumented students. They simply just don't have the documentation that will give them in-state tuition. And so because of that, they have to pay out-of-state tuition, even though they've already contributed to the funding of the school.
Because their parents and themselves, if they have jobs, are state taxpayers.
Yeah, they pay property taxes and sales tax.
What were some of the arguments against this?
There weren't really arguments against it. Mostly people were just arguing to delay the vote till people had had a chance to fully digest it. Other than that,
there was one person who got up and stated, well, what about, other students that aren't Florida residents? Why isn't it being extended to these students? And it's like, well, if you understand what this actual resolution says, is it would just basically mean that those that currently are Florida residents who have grown up in Florida, they're just not with the status, they're the ones that are going to get this in-state tuition instead of having to pay the 3 times as much. So it was just a silly argument.
And the students that have this documentation that was given to them 2 years ago by President Obama, or about 2 years ago, that's giving them the idea that they won't be deported, but it hasn't given them the right, for example, to get in-state tuition. No. What's the ultimate thing that SDS would be asking for?
We would like in-state tuition for all undocumented students that are in Florida. However, right now, the laws that have been passed, it's been the law that this is based around, which is it's been passed in 18 states, including Florida, Texas, Illinois, New York, California, which, along with Florida, constitute the majority of potential DACA applicants and probably the majority of undocumented people as well.
What's happening at other Florida universities?
FIU passed this very same bill in June. They passed it in June. The Board of Trustees voted on it. And then at the same time last night at the University of Florida, our sister chapter at Gainesville SDS, they also passed this in their student government.
Those are my only questions. Is there anything else that our listeners would want to know about this?
I mean, last night Gage stood up in front of the student government and let them know that, this isn't something that he and I just came up together with and we're saying, hey, you should pass this. SDS, along with those community members, have issued a lot of great response, and we want this to be able to pass, and we want undocumented students, like Gage was saying, to overall have this in-state tuition. So the battle continues.
Thanks so much. And I didn't warn you about this ahead of time, but it just crossed my mind. Is SDS planning a demonstration tomorrow in Temple Terrace at 56th and Fowler?
It's actually today.
Oh, it's
actually today at 5 p.m.
What is it?
Okay, so basically, in October, a Palestinian activist named Razmea Odeh, she was arrested on immigration charges. Basically, at some point in the 70s, she had been arrested by Israeli security forces. But the thing is, Amnesty International does not, recognizes that these Israeli security forces are barely legitimate. Mm-hmm. And so right now, it's pretty much just it's a gambit to, silence the Palestinian voice in America and the Arab American voice in America. And so we're fighting against the charges that have been put against her, and it's part of a country. It's a nationwide
Day of action.
Day of action, yeah.
What are the details of in Tampa, in the Tampa area, where?
It will be on 56th and Fowler at 5 p.m. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Right. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.